welcome to another edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline at the River City Inn in downtown Pittsburgh. We're right on the Boulevard of the Allies, right across from Ruth Chris. When we start giving that PPG number, people are going to go look at the ice skating rink and the Christmas tree. But it's right on the Boulevard of the Allies. You can't miss the sign. It's in red. Glass windows are here. Very nice place. Look at all the wood here, Smoking Jim, just like in your game room. Thanks to Dave Cable and Bethel Park for letting us venture out of Bethel Park again. We appreciate it. We got Aaron Ward and Devin Shea helping us out. Appreciate that. I want to thank everybody on Facebook for our new high of 3,526 it was when I left the house. So I might have to have Devin Shea take a peek at that. And Delana, you're from Pensacola. You can just walk right past us to the bathroom. This is one of our newest fans from Pensacola. And now that I lost my whole train of thought. You're watching us on Verizon 32 in the greater Pittsburgh area, all the way from Nemacolin to Cranberry and Wexford, east and west, even in Sewickley. We have a coach from CMU, Claudio Rosano. He's here. He can watch us on Verizon, but he probably got Comcast. So there you go. We'll see him later on. And Comcast 7 only in Bethel Park. That's just how it's set up, and that's what you'll be able to watch. And as you can tell, this is a very active bar and restaurant here with people coming in and out. So if we know him, we'll try to say hi. That's my new friend Claire. She just come in. Wow, Devin Shea just give me the hand signals, not the ones that Zach Brenner gives me, but we just hit a new high on Facebook, 3533. Thank you. That's our new world record. All-time record. Wait till Jim J watches this. Jim, special shout-out to you. I'll give you another one later on when I talk, but this is our promo. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. I got Smoking Jim Frazier right next to me. He was on time. I started late, and we're going to start with What's on Our Mind. Smoking Jim Frazier, what's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
Hold it.
You got to see Levine. Hey, big hand for international master photographer Bill Boyce and his beautiful models in the house. We got New York here. Hey, before the season started, Al Levine, the talking machine, predicted that the Pittsburgh Steelers would go 11-5. And that prediction may still come true. If you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers' next 7 opponents, you're looking at the New York Jets, the Tennessee Titans, the New Orleans Saints, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Atlanta Falcons, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Cincinnati Bengals again. So 11-5 is very possible.
11-5's alive?
11-5 is alive. But the problem with the Pittsburgh Steelers, I said 2 years ago, that they took the leadership out of the locker room. James Harrison, James Ferrier, Casey Hampton, Aaron Smith, Hines Ward, last offseason, Brett Kiesel. But what they did this year, they brought back Brett Kiesel and James Harrison, and they're providing the leadership to a very, very, very young defense. If you look at the 2 greatest leaders in Pittsburgh Steelers history, they're Mean Joe Green and linebacker Andy Russell, followed very closely by Jack Lambert, Greg Lloyd, Joey Porter, and James Harrison. In the last 2 weeks, James Harrison's been playing like he's the king of Steeler Nation. Back-to-back, 2-game sacks back-to-back. Listen, the pressure that he's been putting on the quarterback. Yesterday, the pressure that he put on Flacco made Flacco throw an interception to a guy who's been invisible all season, Jason Worlds. So all I got to say is, long live the king.
Thanks, Smoking Jim. I gave up on that 11-5 even before I predicted 3 wins at home, just so you know. because they are inconsistent when they get on the road, and we're seeing some earth-breaking things, record-shattering. Who would think a quarterback who does not get along with his offensive coordinator sets a National League record that's never been done before, let alone the 2 500-yard games in a row. First, 6 touchdown passes 2 weeks in a row. This wasn't what's on my mind, but since I might be right and 11-5's alive, I had to talk Steelers. Well, first, you know we're friends with a lot of people in boxing, MMA. I'll just tell you my little road trip with my chauffeur, Zach Brenner Contracting, Zach Brenner the Amish Assassin, Zach Brenner the co-host of Pittsburgh Sportsline, and Zach Brenner will announce he's starting some Iron Beard that somebody named Levine gave him a little idea for that. So whatever he is, we'll have it out. So he told me, hey, Levine, you got to get ready. We're going to go see Rod Sulka and Buzzy up at their camp in Cole Center. And he goes, Root Sports is out there. I'm like, okay. I got to go to Munhall. That was the only negative thing about the whole day. We got on the road, made it out to Cole Center without getting lost. It was just unbelievable. We were on 43. The only complaint was somebody had to keep throwing money at the state Corbett's machines. He gave him 10 cents extra twice, so I don't know what's going on there. But we made it out to Buzz Garnick's round 2. This camp, you got to go up there. It's just awesome. So we're up there, and Root Sports is already filming because I made, the Amish Assassin a little bit late for some reason. I'm not sure. So we're up there. They're filming. Rod's working out like a champ. He's throwing some punches and working on some of his technique. And Root's filming everything. Your man Enrico Abadanza's up there. Some of the other boxers, the Palmer boys. It was just great being up in the boxing environment. Long story short, somehow they thought that they needed to feed me. So Buzz goes in his refrigerator. He goes, would you like to eat something? He pulls out the packaged meals that he makes for his fighters. This guy's like a connoisseur and a chef. Brings out a salad, brings out chicken, and he's feeding me. So the Amish Assassin, who's 280 pounds, he's ready to chew on the ring there. I don't know. He was eyeing up the rope like it was something good to eat. He ended up feeding him too. So not only is Buzz a great trainer, he's telling me stories, showing me around. He's feeding me at the same time. Then he said, do you want a second salad? Why not? And he gave me the biggest piece of broccoli that I saw, and I ate the whole thing under protest from Zach. And that was only part of our day. That's the first part of our day. Guess what? We went to MMA fights in Altoona. We got invited to that, and handsome Jim Audet with Steel Nation magazine offered to take us to the fights in Altoona if we could make it to his house in Greensburg. And somehow we made it to Greensburg. That'll be a story for another day, off air especially. So Jim Audet took us there, met a lot of great people, some of the fighters. We saw 9 fights. There were some of the best fights, non-stop action with amateurs and everything else. You have to check out what Jim Audet with Steel Nation magazine wrote about it. Just some great stuff. But this shows you there's a lot of other sports out there we're reporting on. We're going to the boxing. Some of our boxers are now champions. They'll be fighting November 14th. If you can get a ticket, go to the Consol Energy Center. Check out Sammy Vasquez. Rod Sulka's fighting Monty Meza Clay. Smoking Jim is one of the toughest guys I know, but he's ready to cry over these 2 legends fighting. And I told him boxing's a tough sport. Wait till Claudio chimes in a little later on. And that's what's on my mind.
I tell you what, this is my brother from another mother. There's not a man on the planet that I ever met that I got more respect for this guy. I tell you what, it seemed like we've been knowing each other our whole life. Not only is he the head baseball coach at Carnegie Mellon University, but he's one of the top baseball scouts in the country. He travels all over the world trying to give these young men an opportunity to play baseball and to do other things, and the greatest family man I ever been around. Please put your hands together for a man that only needs one name, Claudio!
tell them your full name, because Smoking Jim's good with one name.
He can pronounce it too. I've heard him say it. Claudio Relsano. You had it pretty good.
I was close.
All right, you did
I
all
put
right.
an on in there.
That's all right. You
but
did
I
good.
still had O at the end.
You did. As long as there's a vowel at the end of it, we're okay.
Okay. Well, I'm not Levine, just Levine.
All right, there you go.
And Levine's got the furniture. How are you today?
Good. Everything's great. Thank God. No complaints at all.
If you want to
Everything's
hold
going
the mic,
well. All right.
that'd be great. Sure.
Okay. All right. Everything's good. Family's doing well. Our baseball team's doing well. CMU,
That's
which
why
we'll
we
talk
brought
about.
you here.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about baseball, because I haven't seen you in, it's
been a
got
while.
to be close to a year.
It's been a year, I guess, something like that.
Definitely.
We had our best season ever at CMU. We finished in first place, which is, my guys at CMU. There you go.
Congratulations,
Thank you,
because
thank
I
you.
remember you were struggling a couple years ago.
Yeah, a couple
I
years
couldn't
ago.
even ask the players
No.
what their records were.
That's right.
Pitching
But-
or hitting.
No, but this year we had a great group. We always have a great group of guys.
They were a great group back then.
They are, but this year we translated that to the field. We had pitching, we had hitting, we had a complete a team that you could possibly have. Our batting average was 335 as a team.
Wow.
Our pitching, our ERA was like 234. When you have both of those, you're not going to lose many.
Now, tell the folks out here, in case they don't know you, and we got first-time listeners and people watching the show, these kids do not get a scholarship.
No, and again, CMU is, in my opinion, the best college out there. And
I sure hope so.
it
That's
is.
your
No,
employer
they're
there,
the
my
best.
friend.
And when you graduate from CMU, you write your own ticket. So these guys really get pounded. I mean, school is number one, and it should be. And we don't practice every day. Matter of fact, we played a team this past weekend. They said, how many times a week do you guys practice? 2 to 3, mostly 2. They come in to get their work done, and they leave. But then they turn it on during the games. I really have a special group. I really do. And this past weekend, we needed to sweep to finish in first place for the spring, or for the fall, which carries over to the spring. And we won our first 2 games. We 10-run them the Saturday. Sunday we were winning 5-1. Then they came back. They tied it up 5-5. And to show you the type of team I have, my pitcher who pitched Saturday, he begged me to catch on Sunday. I said, go ahead. So as I was going to go replace my starting pitcher, he said, Coach, I want to pitch. I said, well, you pitched yesterday. You're catching today.
Right.
And he said, no, I want to pitch. I want to win this for you. His name is Darren Kerfoot. He said, I want to win this for you.
How old is he?
He is 20, 19, 20.
Is he a freshman or?
He's a sophomore. So I got him for a while longer.
Nice.
And,
That's why I'm asking these questions there.
And when he said that to me, I got to be honest with you, I got chills, and I start welling up. Right, I'm Italian, I'm emotional, but I
just had a conversation with somebody today, and I said I grew up with all Italians, and they said, are they very emotional?
A little bit.
So you're tying right in with that. And one thing
bit.
I want to interrupt is I'm a guy that doesn't believe in pitch counts.
Neither do I. We talked about that.
And that's why I'm segueing into this for you to set that up on why you were welling up, not just because he offered to pitch.
Well, it was
but
what he said to me. It was what he said to me. He said
wanted to win it for you.
He wanted to win it for me, and then the other guys chimed in and said the same thing. Well, I was in tears for 2 1/3 for 2 1/3 innings. Rest of the game, we went extra innings.
Oh, no.
And
on top of that,
and I was in tears. I really was. I had sunglasses on. It was very emotional for me, and I've never wanted to win a game more than that one. Other than in 1990, October 8th, 1990, when my team at Penn State Beaver, we won the championship. It was 2-year anniversary of my mom passing and my dad's birthday. Sure. So obviously you want to, but we won that game 15-0.
Right.
So
no contest.
It was no contest, but this was a contest. And I tell you what, I was at the end of the game when we won. I couldn't even give them a post-game speech. I did,
right.
But I was in tears because the things that they said to me, the hugs and the way they were with me, I'll never forget that as long as I live. And
how'd the pitcher do?
He shut him down, and he got the game-winning hit.
That's
he
what
got
I
a game-winning double.
I wanted to hear some there.
No,
Okay.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he was the hero. But they were all heroes. And one thing I made damn sure of at the end of the game, we have a few guys we have the guys with the 60, 70 at bats, 30 at bats, and this one particular couple guys had maybe 1 to 3 at bats. Never once did they complain. They were always there. They worked hard. They came to practice. Great attitudes, fun to be with. Right. And again, I'm very blessed to have that group. I've been coaching 31 years. I've been blessed to be doing that, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, I've always had a great group of guys. But this team here, maybe just a
little more.
A little bit more.
Well, especially what they said, then they performed.
Exactly.
What was your record at the end of the year?
Well, for the fall, we finished 12-4, and we should have been about 13-1, but that's okay. We came on.
Everybody I talk to that's a coach and a player, I always ask, could you have done any better?
Yeah.
And guess what?
Yeah.
You kept the streak alive.
Yeah, right.
I'm undefeated in that question.
But the thing is, whenever you have a team that wants to win for you and you want to win for them, man, you have something special. And so now we'll enjoy it over the winter, and then come February when we start practicing again, you move on. And now
where do you practice in the winter?
We practice at school. See, that's another thing.
You're behind the 8 ball on this stuff.
We're behind 2 8 balls.
Really?
We don't have a facility.
Can we say that on air?
We don't have we don't have a field on campus. We have to go to Swickley to play our home games and in Bellevue.
Yeah, but that's closer to home for you.
For me, it's good.
I'm sensing a little collusion in the neighborhood.
I have some contacts, But the thing
I'm surprised.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, we tell them the way it is, and I say you play the hand that's dealt. That's life. And you know what? We don't complain about it. I love coaching at CMU. We could have 6 home fields. It wouldn't make a difference. I love where I'm at. The players love this, playing for us. And I never want to leave CMU, to be honest with you. I mean, you can say we're behind the 8 ball. We have a little gym that we practice in. But you know what?
Well, I just meant it builds
true.
character.
Well, you know what?
It builds character.
You're not going to always get what you want in life. And I use baseball as a vehicle of expression. I try to use baseball as analogies, examples of life.
You might have tuned in the Rolling Stones song, too.
What's that?
You get what you need.
Oh,
you don't always get what you want.
All right. I'm more of a Commodores guy. And
are you?
Cool.
I mix it up.
That's all right.
I mix it up from country to Mozart.
All right. Okay.
So
that's all right.
Stones just
Andrea Bocelli, opera. I'll do some Italian.
Exactly.
But again, I couldn't ask for a better situation than I have at CMU.
That's great.
I'm very blessed.
I'm glad to see you so successful and so happy because I can't tell the difference that when your team wasn't that good and they had great character and they were great athletes, they just didn't perform on the field. Because I asked them batting averages if they even had hits, and that was a problem.
Yeah, I know.
Then I asked about pitching. I was
that.
hoping to get your guys here, so we'll have to have you on at another time.
Anytime. But the pro scouting.
As long as they don't miss any of their engineering tests.
No, I know. Well, that's another thing. I mean, they can't make all the practices because school's number one there as well as it should be. But everything's going well. CMU's going well. My pro scouting company, Global Scouting Bureau, is going well.
Tell me a little bit about the scouting there. We've always talked about it when we've had you on air and off air.
We've had guys drafted. We signed over 2,200 players to pro contracts since 1998. We had about 4 guys drafted in the past draft. We ran something called the Southeastern Showcase Series in Louisiana.
What is that?
It's a 5,000-player tournament.
Did you say 5,000 players in a tournament?
Yeah.
How many
2
teams?
months. That I don't know.
I always try to stump a guess.
Yeah, you stumped me.
It worked.
All I know is that the check cleared, but everything
that
was
the next question.
The check cleared. But
how about the transportation cost check?
Yes, that was good.
Okay,
but
good.
The owner of our company, James Gamble, gave me my original start in pro baseball, and I every day I say this all the time. There's an old Italian saying: if you ever see a turtle on top of a fence post, you know he didn't get there alone. So between prayers, my parents, and my hard work, and James Gamble giving me the opportunity, like I said, I'm forever grateful to him, and really, like I said, I can't complain about anything. If I did, it'd be a sin. So thank God. And I'm here with Smoking Jim and Al Levine.
Oh,
what
man.
else can you ask
know.
for, right? Yeah, so everything's going well.
You're almost in sports heaven then, without dying.
I'm pretty much in. Yeah, I'm very blessed in a lot of ways. Very thankful.
Well, we're
starting an apparel company, James and I.
I know. I want to hear more about that. You gave me a little stuff to ask. Because I would just say, what's going on? And
I take it from there. I talk too much.
Well, not really, because you're not wearing any Crohn's
yes, I am.
stuff, are
Crons.
you?
Yes, I am.
Crons.
I'm still going to be doing stuff with Crons. We got the.
I can read. I can read, unlike your best brother and friend. He doesn't read, he writes.
He writes.
He's a great writer.
But it's going to be called the Overcome brand.
Overcome? How did you come up with that?
We were talking about different life experiences and what we want this shirt to mean. I said I want it to be a performance apparel. Okay?
Makes sense.
And when somebody sees it, we were originally involved with another company that I didn't like the name. I just didn't like the name. And I said the name should resonate what we feel in our hearts. Not just everybody wants to make a buck. We also want to have impact.
Italian name.
It has an E at the end of it. Has knee at the end of
You're
it.
reaching
you know?
on that one.
It depends.
You're
It depends
reaching.
what Italian says it. They can say it with a little bit of an Italian flair
Okay,
to it.
just checking with you.
Okay, but so we said, we've all had to overcome things. We were all telling, and what I want eventually from this is a speakers group to represent our company, and I listed a bunch of former athletes that I know who've had to overcome things.
Sure.
So I said, why don't we just call it the
How
Overcome?
about
Group?
you?
Well, we all have. We've all had to overcome things. I mean, so and that's why I try to tell my guys,
Right.
I've had to deal with things, and I've dealt with them.
Sure.
And you move forward, and I try to be a compass for them or a guide on how I went through things. And there's people who've went through a hell of a lot more than I have. But we've all been through things. Another old Italian saying, nobody has worn the shirt of the content. In other words, it sounds better in Italian. But everybody.
Say it in Italian. We have Italian viewers.
Nessuno si è tutta la camisa del contento. That's Calabrese. But anyway,
He was saying that the other day.
Jim understood it.
Oh, yeah. He said, yeah.
He's from the South, like us,
Is he?
But
I thought he's from the East.
But there you go. We are south from Naples. But so it's something that we're looking forward to doing. So I got a lot of things going on.
That sounds great.
I'm always busy, like you. You know that.
I know. We try to stay busy.
We give it a shot. Yeah.
Definitely.
But
What else? How do they get a hold of checking out CMU baseball? Do you have a website or a Facebook?
CMU
or
baseball.
anything?
There is a Facebook, but it's cmubaseball.com. My website is being worked on as we speak.
We won't bring it up
ClaudioRossano.com.
then. If they can't get into
I
it
can't
and
get
it's
in
under
quite yet.
construction,
But,
we're not giving them any. Should they call you anywhere? Because we got baseball players. They need an outlet, and they need somebody 2,200 people that you got.
Call Global Scouting Bureau. Look at the Global Scouting Bureau website, gsbsports.com, and if you're good enough, we'll hook you up.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to connect people. That's what
it.
we do.
All right. But like I said, I'm very. I told you before the show. My prayers pretty much consist of thank you, and to have people like you, and of course my boy Smoking Jim in my life, I'm even more blessed. So can't complain about a thing.
I'm thankful too, and we'll have you back when we can bring some players on here.
Anytime.
Because I like asking people that are much smarter than me, Smoking Jim, questions. I like that.
There you go.
Claudia, thank you very
you
much.
for having me.
Glad you could
Thank
make
you for
it.
having
What
me.
ring is that?
Well, this is what I was talking about. October 8th, 1990. I was head coach at Penn State Beaver. I was 25, and we happened to win that championship on the 2-year anniversary of my mom, who I adored very much, had passed, and my dad's birthday. So that was
all
a
came
very,
together
very
for
special.
you.
Boy, that was a special day, and been very, very, very blessed.
I at
with
least
that
had to
group, too.
get a shout out for both your parents again. And
I always
that
talk
ring.
about my parents. Always talk about my parents.
I never
always.
noticed that.
They
First
deserve
time
it.
this year on Pittsburgh Sportsline.
They deserve it. They deserve it.
Yes, they do. They created you, and I'm blessed to have met you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You take care now.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Mario Tempest, welcome to the show.
How you doing, Alan? Jim, how are you, man?
Great.
Good.
You're holding your streak alive. I think it's 4 in a row.
Yeah, it is. And I was telling Jim before the show started, I don't think we're going to hear 8-8 is great anymore. I think that's long gone.
What is that saying? I don't recall.
The Steelers were 8-8 the last 2 years, and Jim seemed to think that they were fine with that, and 8-8 is great. I think it's all over, fellas.
I don't recall that, but someone did say that homestand would be a good homestand.
Yes, he did.
So
Yes, he did.
we'll keep moving forward. What's up with you now?
Well, actually, before I forget, I'm going to talk about my alma mater high school, Highlands High School.
That's one of the reasons I called you up, because you're here. We
And-
talked about it last week.
And I'm not sure if you're familiar who their next opponent is on Friday. Do you have any
I
idea?
don't think I ever heard of them.
Seton LaSalle. I think you might have heard of them before.
I did scrimmages against them.
Yeah.
They were South Catholic back then.
Yeah, Seton LaSalle Highlands. And I found out today it's at Valley High School Stadium in the Kensington on Friday night. Yeah. It's gonna
How
be a
does
great
that
game.
work out?
Hey, we got connections, man. Yeah.
I like it. You must know Claudio.
But
He's
yeah,
connected.
that's going to be awesome. That's going to be a great game.
Yeah,
Looking
that
forward
is.
to that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No doubt. You going to be there?
I'll be there.
Wow.
I'll
There's
be
their
there.
biggest fan now.
I'll be there.
Definitely. What else is happening?
Well, just as a reminder, on the different products that we have in our line, our 2 lines, Mona V and Mint now, all natural products. If you know anybody out there that has chronic pain, we can help. Anybody that lacks energy, can't sleep,
You're describing
all the above. Jim, maybe. Jim, we're gonna make an appointment after the show.
Hold it. There's only a 4-letter word that he'll go with, and it begins with an F. REE. So I think you can do business with him.
Well,
But he could use that.
if our product was in Las Vegas and we went to bet on how successful they're going to be, maybe Jim might.
Heavy money.
Yeah.
He get heavy money on Mint and Mona V.
43 countries now and counting, so it's
I don't
you can
condone
bet on it.
gambling here, so
Right.
I hope it's only friendly bets, and
Yeah, we can
maybe
cut
your drink and him not drinking it. I don't know how that'll work. We'll try to negotiate that later on. Definitely. Well, continued success on that.
Thank you. Actually, the last couple of days, well, the last couple of weeks, but especially this morning, a lot of people come up to me and said, "Is James Harrison drinking your drink?" And I wish the answer was yes. I told everybody it was yes, and that's why he's doing so well, but that's
Wow.
not really the truth. But
We know
I'll go with
we
it.
know otherwise. He come out of that hyperbolic chamber with the oxygen, and he was 14 pounds overweight.
Yeah.
So now he lost the weight. He gained a half a step since he lost 2 steps. So now he can get that leverage again.
I'll tell you what, 4 weeks ago, I was not looking forward to the Baltimore Raven game because I thought we were going to get crushed.
You guys are weak.
And then the last 2 weeks, I couldn't. I found myself being a old fan last night. I was, especially when my buddy number 55 had that cheap shot towards the end of the game.
Suggs.
I wanted to, Suggs. I wanted to jump right through the television, man. And that's when I knew
You were back.
I was back as a fan. I'm never gone totally, but I was back full force
Right,
last night.
right.
Yeah, it was great to see. I just, I'm loving it. The Penguins, 3 shutouts in 4 games.
Yeah,
Mark
who's been
Andre?
the goaltender? It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Can't run him out of town. Can't run out our offensive coordinator out of town anymore.
Yeah,
What's
you
the talk
can't.
show is going to talk about?
Here, I still say Haley shouldn't be here. You notice what they're doing. How do you pass 49 times the week before? And what did he pass last night? Another almost 40 passes?
Yeah.
You're talking, let me do the math real quick without a calculator, almost 90 passes. And they brought Haley here. Now, just so I can clarify this, because we got fans that get out of control, he was brought here to have a running game, which failed last night. He was brought here to protect Big Ben, but he's throwing 90 passes in 2 games. And he's setting NFL records that have never been set before. So you know what? Big Ben, keep playing like you want to play, and we'll win.
That's right.
And Haley's insignificant here.
Ben is the coordinator right now, and Haley's the puppet. Sounds like the head coaches from the Dallas Cowboys.
Well,
All they are puppets.
we'll talk head coaches. I don't know. I don't have a pet peeve about Tomlin because I like the guy. I know he's a smart guy. But I just wonder, what's it mean when this is up like this when there's plays, and then when players come by, he's walking away or whatever else. He's the head coach. So just watch this, fans. It's not a green pen. That's the microphone. So when people say this stuff, when the inmates can run the asylum, I'm all for it because they're winning.
Yeah. When he puts it down, you know he's ordering a pizza for after the game.
And here's the other thing. Another miracle happened. Not only did James Harrison get younger, but Dick LeBeau is not 77 years old anymore. He's actually being called a genius again.
And the game hasn't passed him up all of a sudden.
Well, somehow he caught up to it because it did pass him up, but he got the speed back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're seeing some things that are just remarkable now because if you're a fan, certain things,
Enjoy
the facts, don't let facts get in the way of anything, all right? Just put opinions out there.
That's right.
So that's where we're at. But I'm enjoying their wins, too, just
I
like
am.
you and everybody
Yeah,
else.
very much so.
I wouldn't have predicted 11-5 if it weren't an easy schedule, and they have parity in the NFL. I mean, it's hard to keep educating people about some of the things we have out there. We have an NFL scout here who tells me who's soft, and I did want to mention some of these linemen are so soft that now they have a guy helping, like Marcus Gilbert. They're so thankful he come back, and he looked like a gate, and Claudio knows that the gate swings back and forth, and they just come running in because in baseball – well, Foster was – wait till we get little Z on here.
because that was another one. When both of your tackles are like swinging gates, it's amazing. You got tight ends that should be catching passes. Spaeth isn't allowed to catch a pass unless they fumble a kick, and then they get a 2-point conversion. I mean, come on. And then Big Ben goes, hey, Haley, Spaeth can catch a ball. Now he throws a pass downfield. He almost falls down because he let him too far because he didn't realize he was that slow. He catches it, stumbles into the end zone. I mean, this is what I see in the game. So I'm loving watching the Steelers. You don't hear this anywhere else. I have yet to hear this on the radio, on TV, anywhere, only on Pittsburgh Sportsline here. Thanks for bringing that out, Mario. I didn't mean to get on a tangent or a rant.
Yeah, that was a segue. I led you into that.
You just set me up perfectly. You can come back every week and do this, even if they don't win all the rest of their games. What did you want to say before I got on this rant?
That's it. I mean, that's all it's been. I mean, Pittsburgh sports has been awesome. We want to talk about Pitt because they don't have a team.
Pitt's not it right now.
Yeah.
As
Pitt is something else.
As a couple friends of mine say, Zach Brenner, his brother, and others, it's hard to be a Pitt fan.
It really is.
It's actually
really
difficult.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame.
And maybe they can get up to the ABC, XYZ, LMNOP Bowl.
Yeah.
You know, there's a chance for that.
And I'm real surprised. I think you might have mentioned it briefly, but Jim, I'm real surprised you didn't mention anything about Joe Green. That was I wish.
He's saving it for tomorrow night on our live show.
I wish TV would have showed more of it. Well, some of it. They didn't show any of it, actually. But what a nice man. Very emotional man. A lot of respect before the game.
Well, the most important, the thing that I got, from being at the game, here's the most important thing that they didn't show on TV that you guys would be impressed, is that Mean Joe Green had his family there,
grandchildren,
which included his mother. His mother is still alive. God bless her.
That's awesome. You're right.
Thanks for the insight, Smoking Jim. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a great story.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Smoking Jim will tell you, we were talking on our show, that's one of the reasons I became a Steeler fan. Up until they took Green, I've said it before, so I'm trying not to be too redundant here. Before '69, I was only a Pirate fan. I had Pirate, baseball cards, Steeler football cards. I put them in a drawer. There were only a few. I wore hats, gloves, Pirates, shirts, Steelers. I got those for presents. I never wore them. I gave them away. After '69, because I saw a guy with emotion and not playing like the Chief and his buddies, who become a legend because of Dan Rooney, Chuck Noll, the Scouts. There's some Scouts there. There's Smoking Jim will tell you more about that. They're legends. Without them, they were allowed to do their job. Right. It changed, and that's after the Chief, and that's why I'm on in spite of coaches and other people. Chief was a great man, involved in a lot of great things in the city, but up until, the 70s, same old Steelers.
Nothing, yeah.
SOS, and that's what happened.
As a matter of fact, one of my Christmas presents when I was a kid was a Green Bay Packers football uniform because they were the team. There was
one of my favorite teams.
No such thing as buying a Steeler uniform. They were hard to find.
Yeah. You didn't know which one they were going to wear. That Bumblebee one kept getting resurrected again.
Or the Three Stooges one.
Well, that's even worse.
It looks like H2O.
Yeah.
Curly and H2O.
That's a bad one. We don't want to see that. Well, Mario, thanks for your insights. Thanks for pumping me up.
And we'll talk about Highlands and Seton LaSalle
next week. We got to get the report on that.
All right.
We'll be at Duke's Rib House and Grill at the end of Green Tree Road near Max and Irma's. 1910 Cochran Road, Smoking Jim.
I'll be
hard
there.
To find. All right. Thanks, Mary.
Thanks again.
Go Highlands. All right, we're going to go to the Pittsburgh Sportsline halftime. We haven't done that in a while, and we're going to let Smokin' Jim take us into halftime.
Hey, thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. Want to give another shout out to two of our guests, Claudio, and everybody knows him by Claudio, and Mario Tempest. And
real sono.
And I'm way too young to remember when Joe Green came, but just for the record, when I was young, all of my heroes are the older guys who played at Gateway. You know, it was a dynasty then, so we didn't have to venture. We didn't have to venture out to NFL and college teams. But just to talk about how Joe Green changed and Chuck Noll changed the attitude of the locker room. Don't forget now, it was a team effort, like Al Levine, the talking machine, said when they brought in Chuck Noll. Don't forget the general manager at that time was Dick Haley, the father of Todd Haley, and Todd Haley was the ball boy who later, that's the closest thing Todd ever had to a football, was being the ball boy.
Talk about that, because I thought he was a golfer and I never heard what his score was.
Yeah, he was a golfer at Upper St. Clair. He was a golfer in college down in Miami, and he was an 8-year golf pro until he fizzled out on the pro scene, called his dad, who was at the time vice president in the New York Jets, and asked his dad to ask Bill Parcells, the head coach, for a job. And Bill Parcells created a coaching job. It's called Watch Films for 2 years and be on the paycheck. And then they promoted Todd Haley to wide receivers coach. My blind cat could be a wide receivers coach in the NFL because guys are polished coming out of college to be a wide receiver. But anywho, to go back, the general manager was Dick Haley, who was tremendous. And don't forget that the Pittsburgh Steelers did something that was innovative. In 1969, a year after Dr. Martin Luther King got killed, they brought in Bill Nunn Sr. to be a scout, and he went and recruited all the players from predominantly Afro-American colleges or black colleges, so that little Z knows what I'm talking about. But don't forget, at that time in 1969, there has never been a black player in the SEC at that time. No black players at Alabama, Florida, and Mississippi State, any SEC teams. So all the black players were playing at traditional black colleges. So Bill Nunn was able to bring in those great players, and Chuck Noll came in the locker room and says, listen, because a lot of times on the road in some of the southern states, black players couldn't stay in the same hotels or eat in the same restaurants as some of the white players, and it's still the same way in Lil Z's hometown. But Chuck Noll says, listen, you guys will start rooming. We're going to room white players with black players. We're going to get along. We're going to build the chemistry because we're one team, one dream. And in that locker room, the man was Mean Joe Green. Mean Joe Green, they knew when Mean Joe Green says shut up, because he would cut your head off. He was crazy. And they brought in other great leaders like Jack Lambert and so and such, and Ernie Holmes, who would shoot at police helicopters.
He wasn't a great leader. Nobody followed him.
Well, when he say shut up, everybody would shut up.
He had the arrowhead, and that's where they went on defense. They followed him.
Yeah,
it was always go forward. He was pointing forward.
Yeah, they sure did. And I tell you what, Joe Green was, because everybody like me and Claudio used to talk about all the time. That's why I love a guy like Greg Lloyd. Everybody likes to win, but Joe Green hated to lose, and he refused to lose. And Chuck Noll was the same way. And that built in, I don't know how many years, what is that, over 40 years now.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Steelers are still considered, the 70 Steelers are still considered the greatest team of all time, and I still think more of those players from the 70s should be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, on that point, do you think they're keeping some of these players? Like one of my favorites is Donnie Shell, free agent to come on the team.
From an all-black college,
well,
South Carolina
I don't care.
State.
I don't see much color in here. It's sort of dark anyhow, but you got to play it. You got to produce. And that was the difference in the Steelers. But a guy like him, if he were on another team, say San Francisco, maybe he'd be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, just all you need to know about Donnie Shell, and this is included in one of my books, is that Donnie Shell was a strong safety. Donnie Shell has more interceptions to this day, 53, than any other strong safety in the history of the National Football League, and that was the weakest part of his game. The best part of his game was knocking people out, and it's a shame that you can be the best in interceptions. Most cornerbacks that are in the Hall of Fame don't have 53 interceptions. Not only is he number one of all time strong safeties in interceptions, his claim to fame was his ability to make tackles, and it's a doggone shame that they're keeping Donnie Shell out of the Hall of Fame. And another guy that should be in there is Andy Russell. Andy Russell has a record that will never be broken. He was a Pittsburgh Steelers captain for 10 years in a row. That'll never happen. They'll never see another leader like Andy Russell that'll be able to be a team captain for 10 straight years. Back then, you didn't have these weak special team captains. I could never play on a team that a part-time guy is walking up at the coin toss with me. Back in the day, there was an offensive captain and a defensive captain. The special team guy could get cut on Monday. Why is he one of your team captains? That's crazy to me.
Smoking Jim, thanks for the halftime report. It's almost like your 1st and 10 with Smoking Jim on the PCTV. You can check it out on right in the Pittsburgh area since we're in Pittsburgh. That's Comcast 21 and Verizon 47. If he doesn't get me the info so we can see the show, at least you can watch it on TV. This is one of the busiest men in Pittsburgh media. You aren't going to see anybody that works as hard as he does in the whole area. He'll go anywhere for a story. You may not see him long, but he'll go there. And that's it for halftime. Welcome to the show. This is a sports show. I don't know where they're going with this stuff. They'll be in the Sandbox tomorrow night. Watch us on Verizon 32 everywhere. You'll see these guys.
Comcast 7 only in Bethel Park.
Yeah, I didn't want to put that out because you're losing fans with the battle you have here. We're trying to work on that to pump it up a little.
It's tough. I'm working on Comcast. Somebody's got to do it.
All right. Well, we need you in Bethel Park. Can you ride around in that blue truck with Zach Brenner?
I'm trying to be the first one to drive around in that BPTV SUV.
I heard if you don't frame a little better with the cameras, you can't get in there. But you've done a great job. He's a cameraman. He's a production guy. He's an interviewer. He's Zach Brenner. Now he's got some things he's going to tell us. He just started a couple earth-shaking things that have happened out there. And Smoking Jim, you don't even know about this one here that nobody – I always kid him because I'm trying to keep him humble. He has an ego that the ceiling's starting to crack there. But I try to keep him humble because everybody knows I'm a humble man. Rarely do I show any big ego type of things here. He just did something that I've never heard of before. He's been talking to me for a year about it, and it just happened today. So with no further ado, Little Z, tell him what you're going to do.
Well, folks, after spending a lot of time with Jim Frazier, it dawned on me that you don't want to take too many unnecessary blows to the head. So for the last year, I've been working on an apparel deal to be the first contractor, non-fighter, to get in a sponsorship with an apparel deal, and I got it done 100%.
Explain what this apparel deal is, because a lot of people know it as clothes. And, we don't always have the most sophisticated guests here and hosts, but it's a clothing line.
It's also a popularity contest, and what I've argued for years is, my popularity and my exposure is bigger and greater than some of the fighters locally, and I never asked for a dime or a dollar, but the puck stops here, Jim Frazier, and I've come back stronger than ever, and I'm trying to turn a profit out of this boxing thing. So with no
what happened then? What happened today?
Like I said, I got an apparel deal now.
Can you announce who it's with?
100% violence. So you won't. I have the lumberjack Greg Rudolph's Unseen Armada shirt on, but
stand up and model that for the folks.
I can't because now I'm with 100% violence. So this will be the last time I wear.
I was trying to get an exclusive
Armada
last time. Bill Boyce photo of this. You can't show that one more time?
Nope. Maybe after the show, but not on the show. So
okay,
we're very serious about this deal with 100% violence.
I'm testing you.
So we'll just segue into from that apparel deal. Now we got Iron Beard Fight Management coming in 2015. So now we'll have we already have the amateur line in boxing and in the cage fight. So we got access to all the amateur guys coming up when they're ready to turn pro. You come see the Iron Beard, and we'll set you up, where you need to be.
It's not
Watch
rusty.
yourself. Watch yourself.
It's strong as iron.
Only Levine can get away with such a thing.
What do you mean? He did bite my
I had to
finger
make sure
off.
my microphone was on, too.
He's paranoid about
a
that
jokester.
because he did shut my microphone off. If you can't hear me, testing.
So that's just in the fighting.
Zach,
thing.
congratulations on that. I know I kid you about everything, but you know what? This just goes to show you, like I tell people, dream big. And he's dreaming so big right now, a couple things just happened for him.
Hey, numbers don't lie. When I look at the racks and the medals and the awards that we've got in the last 2 years, with me in charge, I got a WBC belt on my desk with Team Sulka. I don't know too many.
I saw it.
I don't know too many people, that can claim that. We got world champions. We got guys fighting on Showtime. It doesn't get any bigger than that. Floyd Mayweather fights on Showtime. So I want to give a shout out to Team Sulka, Stevie Upshur, all the guys. 51 Boxing Club. Buzzy out at second round. Boxing. World class.
Hey, how was that
boxing.
salad he made for you? And chicken. You had a big piece of chicken.
Now, anybody that knows me knows for sure I didn't have a salad. Al Levine had my salad, his salad, a couple of the fighters' salads, the horse out back salad. Before it was all said and done, nobody was getting any salad because Levine ate all the salad. So
you got to stay in shape.
I
Keeping
didn't-
my tan.
yeah, keeping that tan alive.
It's fading.
So
I
aside
just was checking with
the
you.
next
that's all.
announcement is something that I deserved. I was named the assistant head coach of the Pittsburgh Gladiators, semi-pro football team. I'm pretty excited about that. I worked out a bunch of guys Sunday morning.
I'd clap, but I got the mic. I can't clap.
Yeah, I know.
Congratulations.
I know how you feel about that, Levine, but don't worry.
No,
We'll
I said
find-
congratulations. I
we'll
don't
find
care who
something
you
for
work
to
with.
do.
I'm
We'll
fine
find
with
something
it.
for you to do, Levine. You're never getting left out in the cold, buddy. Don't you worry.
Okay, thanks.
Don't you worry. And I only make good deals for us that produce dividends across the board. We're working on that with Jim Frazier. It's something that doesn't come naturally to him, but when you don't pay attention in college,
There's
you
too much
You
inside
miss those
stuff.
economics lessons. I didn't have to go to CMU, Claudio, to learn how to add, subtract, divide, and multiply. So
Just to interrupt.
shout out to Still Valley, my alma mater.
I wanted to interrupt you. You got to mention the hometown a little bit.
Have
Where are you
to.
from again? I know I was saying it, but where are you from?
I'm from Homestead, Pennsylvania. I moved up to Munhall as a youngster, like the Jeffersons. I moved on up from Homestead to Munhall, but nevertheless, I claim Homestead all day.
These are the facts. I know that.
So we got the football with the Gladiators. We got Iron Beard for the management company for the fighters
Iron
coming
Beard
up.
Fight Management Company. It was founded on a road trip that is a world record road trip that I can't even talk about it.
It'll live in infamy, that's for sure.
Definitely.
Books will be written about it that people can actually read.
I was starting to write one. Nah, never mind. I'm not going to talk about it. It's a good story. This is a great story, and it just goes to show you that adversity creates opportunity, and that's what I talk about. Whether you go east, whether you go west, whether you go south and north, it's all the opposite. It's what you make out of it.
I couldn't agree more, Al Levine, the talking machine. So, let's get back to the Steelers. Smoker Jim Frazier. I want to bring up some of my insights from the game. Ohio State football players are some of the softest football players to ever put on the uniform and lace it up in all of sports. These guys, they couldn't catch a cold. They couldn't make a tackle if their life depended on it. I don't know how these guys keep getting drafted. Maybe because they look good on Saturdays, but it's not carrying over to Sundays. I'm not even going to pick on Mike Adams or Ryan Shazier.
Why not?
I mean, they're easy targets. They're from Ohio State, so I got sick of picking on Penn State, so now I'm
If you're
moving
talking
over.
about Ohio State, this NFL scout said they shouldn't have drafted them.
No, he was big on Shazier. He was
big
ready
on-
to crown Shazier. We'll get Dave Cable to pull back that early episode in the
I'll
season.
give you the quote. Frazier, Shazier. He's now Frazier,
He's
Shazier.
gonna be good.
But that was one game. He was a
You gotta
one-hit
stay-
wonder.
You got to stay healthy in this
I'll let
league.
you defend
You
yourself.
got to stay healthy, and you got to admit, if you could let a guy that was out in Arizona in a hyperbaric chamber shooting guns, staring at himself in the mirror, flexing, whatever he was doing. You know, if you let that guy come back and just blow you away, then that just goes to show you that maybe you're living up to the hype or the expectation coming out of college. And I definitely think Ryan Shazier is not living up to the hype. He's certainly not earning his paycheck on Sundays. So that's how we feel about that. Let's get on to the offensive line. Whew. You know what, Ramon Foster, buddy, I'll tell you what, man, right now at this point, man, I would take the Amish assassin on that line over you, brother. I don't know what's going on over there.
Breaking news. He's got a tryout tomorrow. No, they're off on Tuesdays. With the CBA, I have to tell you, you can't go down to their facilities. I know you like Pitt and you don't like them that much, but you can't go to the Steeler facilities tomorrow. There is a job opening there. I would go Wednesday if I were you, and I could represent you there if you want me to negotiate.
Oh, now you
I know you could. I know you can hit a sled. I got the update. I know you. I've done a little bit of negotiating now that I know you got some talent that you can drive a sled all the way across Westfield, and then back again, right in his neighborhood.
Right in my backyard.
They're practicing in his backyard. He got the home field advantage.
That I do.
Well, you have to think about that. But I did want to interrupt you because you guys didn't mention about Troy getting hurt. I mean, that injury could be career-ending. You know, even though he did go out. When you start to get leg injuries, a knee injury at this stage of his career.
Career ending. I think it's just a sprain, Levine. Jeez.
You never know. If he loses a step or two, you can't be diving over the line anymore.
I think he's already lost a step or two.
Whoa. I can't talk anymore.
Let the scout take it away if he, defer to the scout.
Well, it's a couple of things. I called Ed Bouchette this morning. Of course, he didn't have a clue on how long Troy would be injured. But from what the Pittsburgh Steelers training staff was telling me this morning is they got to actually wait till the swelling goes down in the knee before you can get an x-ray. But I went back and watched a little bit of the coach's tape on how Troy actually hurt himself because he came up so fast and he hit the guy, but he didn't wrap. And when when the next player made the tackle, it fell right on Troy's leg. But his courage and, just wanting to be back out there, he probably should never have returned to the game in the first half, and then he didn't play at all in the second half. So I hope that everything is okay because Troy was starting to return to his old form thanks to the pressure that they've been putting on quarterbacks the last two games, thanks to James Harrison and Brett Kiesel and the leadership that they provided.
I won't dispute that, and that'll be one of the few times that I don't
can't wait for Ike Taylor to get back now.
I can't wait for Brick Hands to get back out there.
Hey, we were at Nakama the other day, and Levine spotted Ike Taylor. I didn't make any comments to him about Stone Hands. I didn't make any comments that you're his greatest ally, and I left him alone. So,
which was surprising. I was very proud of Levine.
I don't seek autographs, just so you know.
No, he just seeks attention.
No, I get that naturally.
But
hey, Bill, take another photo of us here, will you? Thank you. I think that got the attention there.
As we wind it down here at the River City.
I think we got about 8 minutes. You can go, if you got a couple other paths to walk, go ahead and walk on those paths.
Did Steel Valley win Friday?
No, Steel Valley didn't win on Friday, but neither did a lot of the teams that you picked to win in your little bracket on Tuesday night. Beaver Falls, they didn't make it. They didn't make the cut. So, it was a bad time in Double-A for you in your bracket. But Clareton Bears won. I don't even know what Gateway did because, they're so irrelevant in the city of Pittsburgh, being all the way out there in God's country. They even got declassified. They even went down and took a blow because they're not able to recruit. But you didn't hear that from me. What did Gateway do, Jim Frazier?
Gateway, it was a tie score between Gateway and Ringgold. It was Gateway 12, Ringgold 12, referees 12. So Ringgold won by 2 touchdowns.
Woo! I love that insight, man. That was a great description of Gateway's performance in that game. So shout out to Joe Montana and his alma mater out there in Ringgold for making my day. I didn't know that late-breaking information, but now that I do, I feel a lot better about myself.
But here was the biggest upset the weekend is we did the TV for the City League Championships. and and Alderdice, who was ranked top 15 in the state, got upset by the Brashear Bulls, who's been playing outstanding football, 42-14. It's one of the biggest upsets in high school football over this past weekend.
Not to jump around, but I saw a message from Monty Meza Clay where he said in August he was the fight of the year, and Rod Solka was on America's Funniest Home Bloopers.
No, he didn't say that.
Yeah, he did say that. So, this is going to be the standard. Is a standard leading up to this fight. I'm just going to let the fight on November 14th talk for itself. I can't speak on to what Monty is training or doing. I know what Rod's doing, and I feel pretty confident in the Lightning Rod. So we'll just let Monty, My Life as a Movie, do all the talking. And on November 14th, I have a good feeling who's going to be the victor in the ring, Smoking Jim.
Well, I got a lot of guy kids. If anybody seen Mike Tyson's new cartoon, is it for kids? Have you seen the new cartoon?
It's definitely not for kids. That's why it's on Adult Swim.
It's not for kids.
Not in the least.
Even though he still has the high pitch
He knows how to
voice.
make a buck.
Well, he does now.
Or get exploited and make somebody else a few bucks.
Yeah, just like with Iron Mike Productions.
That's what we're trying to do at Iron Beard Fight Management. We're trying to do the opposite of Don King, and we're trying to leave you with some of your bucks.
Zach's letting me grow my hair up a little bit, so as it gets up there a little, we'll get it.
It's Iron Beard, not Iron Hair.
No, but I'll represent the Iron Beard. What's better with hair about a foot tall?
Lose that Fu Manchu and start growing a beard.
Forget the beard. I'll look like Santa Claus.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Tim Allen pulled it off.
Yeah, I didn't like that look on him.
So you did see that movie.
Yeah, it's not a good look. No doubt. And as far as Monty and Rod, boxing's a tough sport. A lot of comments are made. These guys train hard. I don't care. I saw a lot of things what Rod's doing, but I'm sworn to secrecy. No, nobody told me to be quiet. I just know better. I did watch it. But there's some things going on that are just great. And I know Monty's doing the same type of things. And if people want to talk, that's what happens there. These guys are like Zach Brenner, only they weigh 150 pounds less. I mean, so imagine that. I mean, I look at these guys training, and they're just awesome. The shape they're in and everything else. And they have the attitude he does, and a lot of us that have high self-esteem, that's what projects out there. And sometimes it bothers people. So sometimes the less you say about other people, it works out. You prove it in the ring.
Well, like I said, we're being for a fight on November 14th, folks. It's going to be a great card. I'll be joined by these gentlemen. Hopefully Jim Frazier sits with us, or he'll sit in his new Pittsburgh Courier seat. But
no, he already told us.
I'll be with the team. I'll be with the team.
He said he'll take
Pittsburgh Sportsline all the way.
Because they banned him from using his passes till the end of the year. I got the inside scoop on that.
It was getting dusty.
No, there were like 15 passes that went out. No, the passes were all out. They were just gone. You're not allowed to go through all the passes when they do other things besides sport.
Well, if anybody watches the show, Jim Frazier didn't pick the Steelers to beat the Ravens. I did. And, in fact, I'm getting closer every week to predicting the score of this team. I did a good job this past Sunday night, almost predicting the score pretty close. I did the previous week, but
well, the previous week you were close. This past week, you didn't think this one would happen like that.
Hey, I was close because I predicted a victory, so that's more closer than the guy that predicts a defeat.
Do you ever listen to Al Levine, the Talking Machine, for watching it? It was nice being here at River City Inn again, and Devin Shea and Aaron Ward did a great job with the camera work and the microphones. Somehow they didn't shut yours off yet.
Everything works.
I don't know why that's not
it's
happening.
All working.
We'll see you next week. We'll be at Duke's Rib House and Grill, 1910 Cochran Road, 15220. Great place. We'll be out there next week. Thanks for watching. Be safe. Good night.